Endless Hustle, presented by Doc Swinson's, the legendary whiskey blenders from Ferndale, Washington. I absolutely love Doc Swinson's, and if you haven't tried it, go to their website and check out their selection. All right, we got a little Southern charm on Endless Hustle today, or shall I say Winter House now, because Craig Conover is crossing over. We have the Marvel Cinematic Universe crossover of Bravo at this point. Congratulations on Winter House. How cool is this, like, to be doing another show with the network?
Thanks, man. Oh, I was pumped when I got the call. Austin and I were actually with friends in Aspen when we started to talk to the network about this. And it was just funny because my agent's like, well, we got to hear him out and stuff. And I was like, I'm going. I was like, I'm definitely going on this new show in Vermont. And it was just it fell into place. I love that the barriers are down because, you know, a lot of us, Bravo is kind of a small world, and a lot of us are friends, especially after BravoCon and just, you know, being in the network for 8 years. And so, and I love crossovers even on the scripted shows that I watch. So I think everyone's really going to enjoy it. And it seems like that is funneled into both Summer House and Southern Charm now. So I think everyone's just, you know, like you said, it's the Marvel universe of Bravo.
It really is. It's like Bravo is literally the new Avengers. I absolutely love. As soon as I saw this idea, I'm like, they have literally copied the Marvel formula and are now crossing over their superheroes. I love it.
That's great.
You and I were joking about the beard, man. I can't grow a beard, so anytime I see a dude with a beard, I'm so jealous. But you were telling me before we got started, the beard isn't your usual thing.
Yeah, it wasn't. So I've always been clean shaven. And especially when I was in law school and then after. And so I moved to the Bahamas a couple years ago just to like refine myself and get out of town. And I started growing it out there and I started to get a lot of compliments on it. And it took me a little while to get used to, but kind of like the cologne I wear, if you get if you get compliments on something, why change it? I've had it for like 9 years. So, you know, I can't say that girls don't really influence my style and look choices. So they seem to like it. And my assistant was like, yes, you look 10 times. It's like one of my best friends and her husband. And they were like, you look like a teenage boy before. So I got used to it and it stuck. So
I had Shep on the show recently, your castmate, obviously Shep Rose from Southern Charm, and just seeing Shep's journey. I've known Shep for years. And to see this whole journey from the beginning of Southern Charm to now has been pretty incredible. What's his journey been like for you? So, like, when you turn back the clock and think about Craig Conover, he's just starting out on this hit Bravo show to now, what's it all been like for you?
I think it fit my life well. You know, I was looking for purpose, but I wasn't really the traditional passive life just didn't work for me at the time. And so I really embraced joining the show, which was scary. You know, I was putting my law career on at risk basically by doing it, or any career. And I recently just wrote a book actually called Pillow Talk, and I explore, you know, that growth and all of those dark times and the years. And it's just neat that it was recorded. I think we were able to touch a lot of people's lives. And, you know, everyone saw me fight my Adderall addiction, which I didn't even tell people about until a couple of years ago. So haven't touched it in 3 years, and to see like the difference of who I was, you know, in the beginning, like full of life, and then in the middle, like battling kind of depression, and now in a really happy place. My business is coming together and my new relationship. And it's neat that other people were able to experience it with us. But yeah, it's crazy.
How crazy is it when you relive it, when you're writing it for the book, when you're looking at old episodes? Is it like, this is awesome, or is it like cringing at certain points, or is it a gamut of all emotions?
It's all. I'm definitely a teary-eyed person. I do my fair share of crying and rom-coms that I watch, and it's kind of the similar thing. I think because most of us are in a happy place now, it's okay to watch and get emotional about it, because, you know, there's always that light at the end of the tunnel, which it's hard to see that a lot of times. But it's definitely cringeworthy. I didn't watch years of Southern Charm because I just couldn't see myself. I couldn't look in the mirror yet. So now that I can look in the mirror, it's fun, kind of fun to watch. You know, the happy parts are fun to watch, but, you know, the dark parts teach you that, like, if you look at my life now, I think it's important that people are like, no, he went through a lot to get there, because, I feel like people can relate to that struggle and journey and be like, no, it can work out and it's okay to mess up. I mean, I was 30 years old before I started to get my shit together. So
How does it impact your law practice? Obviously, you have a real life and a real career outside of television. How does being a quote unquote Bravo celebrity impact that other side of your life?
you definitely have to make a conscious effort to be taken seriously, which obviously was always going to be, the deal, or part of the deal. And so it helps with exposure. We get a ton of phone calls every day, but it's not always the phone calls that are great for the law firm. It's a lot of people wanting to say hi and stuff. And but we have gotten some great cases. I have 3 partners who are awesome, and it's definitely a unique, gig. But I run our pro bono division, so I do a lot with the homeless in Charleston, and now with the law firm, it allows me to really help even more, because there's a lot of people going through stuff that it just wouldn't be profitable for an attorney to help them, and they're kind of screwed. So the more I get to do with that, kind of makes it all worth it. But it's definitely not your typical a typical lawyer. Yeah, it's just all, I feel like a lot about me is not typical. So,
Can you and the partners tell when it's about Southern charm and Bravo fandom versus like we actually want to give them a case?
I can, excuse me, sorry. It's like I said earlier to someone, it's we're back in Charleston yelling at each other. So my voice is a little shot. I can, because I've done it for so long now. The partners are starting to figure it out a little bit, and it is neat to see someone experience it for the first time, because they're just like, this is crazy. I've never answered the phone and it not been for the right reason. But it's always very flattering and fortunately very positive. And it's taken, like, they're getting used to it, but we're still brand new. We've only been open for about 6 months, and so we're taking it slowly but carefully, and just doing it the right way. And I definitely procrastinated doing it, because it's the same with the sewing business. I just wanted everything to be perfect. But my dad was like, just do it, just start, and over time it'll grow, and you'll figure your stuff out. And so I'm happy we started it. But it's I'm curious to see if Southern Charm will be able to follow any of it, because we can't ethically film any cases or any past cases or anything like that. So I think it'll be a lot of charity work and that pro bono stuff we're doing, and who knows what'll happen, but we're crossing that bridge now.
So I'm a big golf nut and I want to talk all about golf with you. First, you just got to be at Liberty National, which is like so awesome. I live in New York. I live in the West Village. Anytime the FedEx Cup playoffs happen, I'm in. I've had some of the PGA guys on the show recently as they were entering the playoffs. Talk to me about that experience. What was it actually like?
Well, it's amazing. So one of the cool things that happens, when you've been on TV for so long, is you get exposure to people you wouldn't usually have exposure to. So I became good friends with DJ a couple of years ago, and Austin and I actually travel with Dustin and Paulina every year in the winter. And I love going to support him anytime I can. And we're friends with Keegan Bradley. Austin and Shep are friends with some of the other guys. So I took my girlfriend Paige, my now girlfriend Paige, to her first golf tournament. And, we're walking around with the PGA always takes great care of us, and it's a similar fan base. So we're walking around with our transfusions and our souvenir cup. And I was like, are you having fun? And she's like, are you kidding? I got to dress up and like walk around and drink with my boyfriend. She's like, I love golf now. But, so we went and said, I don't talk to DJ when he's playing unless I just don't. But his brother went to college with me, Austin, as caddy. So we said hi to Austin. He ran over and said, hey. And Keegan's a big Bravo fan. So he came up to Paige after teeing off and was like, I'm a big fan of you too. And it was just a fun experience. But Liberty was beautiful. And it just so happened I was in New York while they were playing. So look, I love golf too. I've got a ton of respect for it. I play a lot, but I'm not. It's not, the consistency is not in my game, and that's what's really fun to watch these guys and root for them. And anytime we get a chance to go to an event, we try to go. So we'll have to get out. Have to get out sometime.
When you see what guys and girls, but people like DJ can do with the ball and just the control, the power, and now we're seeing guys like Bryson and Brooks and this whole new class, this new generation of the Tiger generation, they're calling it, the guys and girls who grew up watching Tiger. How much respect do you have for the talent that these people are able to exhibit?
It's just crazy. I think, you always get that question, if you could be any pro athlete, what would you be? I think golfers haven't figured out. And what an incredible life. But yeah, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, it will never make sense to me because I'm not a scratch golfer. I played a lot of baseball growing up and various other sports, soccer, but the golf thing is just, it's such an incredible talent to have. And, when you see them hitting, they hit their pitching wedge as far as I can hit a 5-iron. So, or maybe, even further than that. And it'll never make sense to me. And I love cheering for the guys. I played in a tournament with John Daly once, who's also a Bravo fan, which was hilarious. I went up to the tee box and I was like, man, he's going to hate me. He's going to be like, who is this reality TV guy? And they were like, Mr. Daly, this is Craig. He's like, I know who the hell Craig is. Like, get over here. And I was like, oh, this is going to be a fun day. And he doesn't take practice swings. So watching his short game was really, really special. He just walks up and hits the ball, and he's still an incredible golfer. So it's a fun world to be a part of.
What's in Craig Conover's golf bag?
Sorry. A little bit of a mixed bag right now since I've misplaced some clubs, but I've got Cleveland and Titleist wedges. I have clubs that I shouldn't be playing with. My friend gave me his Mizuno blades that I'm not good enough to play with, but I'm waiting to get fitted for clubs for myself. God, I wish I have this TaylorMade driver that I love. I was actually playing with someone and I was hitting it so well because I didn't have a driver in my bag that he just gave it to me at the end of the round. And I was like, you don't need to do this. And he's like, dude, you hit this way better than I do. And recently I've got this 4-wood that I love. I actually hit really well. So now that's pretty much the only wood I can hit well. So, but it's an ever-changing list of clubs. And I have a, I don't know what it's called, but I've got an oversized putter with an oversized grip that helps me like calm down over the ball. So
where did your love of the sport begin? When did you first begin to love golf?
My mom's dad, who I called Papa, actually, he lived on a par 3 course. And when I was 13, he offered to take me out golfing with 2 of his old war buddies. And it became one of my favorite memories growing up. Every Tuesday we would play in the summer for years. And we'd go to the VFW after, and have like chicken salad sandwiches with all these guys that served in World War II. And they would just, and these are guys that are hitting, they had a bag of woods, like not irons anymore, because a lot of them were in their 80s. And saw my first hole in one from like an 87-year-old who just rolled the ball, 120 yards with like a 7-wood or something. So I learned my short game was good because I grew up playing on that short course. But just the time I got to spend with him and having him there to high five me anytime I made a putt or a good shot was just the coolest. So that golf is, I think a lot of people have some great memories with golf, and the birth of that in my life, has definitely a solid place in my heart. So, the golf course just reminds me of family. So it's cool.
I know, now, I just discovered Demois, by the way, which is like this Instagram. And I know you guys are constantly, but like literally on Sunday, they'll have like all these like where celebrities or recognizable people show up. And I'm just like, holy shit, you can't be anyone anymore and not get like, I just had Tyler Cameron on the show and we were laughing about this because I'm like, he is literally like 10 posts every Sunday about where's Tyler. I'm like, bro, you can't sneak anything anymore. How crazy is it, like the lack of privacy now?
I definitely have a strong opinion about it, but right I don't know if it's right or wrong yet. I think we could do an awesome panel about it or expose, just because you're right. I mean, it used to be, we didn't have tabloids in Charleston. We don't have paparazzi in Charleston or anything. So ours was just with fans and it was fine. But now, instead of coming up and saying hi, a lot of people, especially in the city, would rather get their post on Dubois. Like they think that's more cool than, hanging with, like, I just, like, I love if people come up and say hi. It doesn't bother me. I'll do a shot with you or a drink. But I've also been doing it for 8 years, and you see when someone's taking a picture, so you always see it too, which really makes me funnier if they do the video walk by, which I've definitely been guilty of that before. But I was laughing with Paige because I was like, it would be absolutely impossible to cheat on anyone these days. I've never cheated. I think I'm a great, boyfriend, very like, I just don't cheat, but I'm just saying, like, it would be absolutely impossible. And then you see your friends on there and you're just like, what did you think was going to happen? So I did get in trouble once. I was talking about a new project that was being pitched, and I was in this like dive bar off like 29th and Park, and the person that I was working with started blowing up my phone, and she's like, who the hell did you tell about this? And I was like, what? It was just like my best friend. He's in the business. It's not a big deal. And she's like, well, it's on the internet now. They fortunately didn't hear what you were saying, right? And I was like, oh yeah, I kind of got caught. But it was just even the smallest like combo, you have to, and it's kind of affected filming now of Southern Charm, which stinks because now when we have like our real, like Austin and I just had to have a real serious conversation about something, and we had to do it where no one could hear us because they started to post our combos like on those sites. And I was like, come on guys, like you can listen. I'm an open book. Like I'll tell you anything, but if you're going to run online and post it afterwards, it kind of makes me, not want to tell all my secrets anymore. So it's a weird world.
It's crazy. I just discovered this Instagram, and I was at a American bar like a few blocks from my house. And somebody's like, do you ever hear about this? I'm like, never heard. So like they followed it on my phone. I forgot about it. So all of a sudden on Sunday, it's in my Instagram stories. There's like 100 stories. And I got sucked in. And I'm like, I do this for a fucking living. And I talk to all these people. But even it's like, wait, you were at Spaniard or you were at like American? And you're just like, holy shit, man, you can't be anyone anymore. Like you said, if you want to do anything naughty or you have a shitty night or you just get wasted, like the guy that constantly is I love Succession, and Nick Vaughn, who plays cousin Greg. Literally, his whole life is on Demois. I'm like, this guy can't fucking show up anywhere. It's crazy.
She figured it out. And, I'm kind of a capitalist. Like, I root for everyone's success, even if it's sometimes not great for my own. So I cheer, I applaud. I mean, the growth is insane. And I'm guilty, of looking too. I like when it's flattering, like when and it is flattering. Like, Paige and I were on the beach the other day, and it's always, most of the time it's really nice stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is, it's cool that they care. But man, the fear that comes from like, and the anxiety from, I'm pretty good when I go out and I just want everyone to have a good time. But sometimes I get like, we get really drunk and, you're kind of just anxious that you did something stupid and it's going to pop up. There's a lot more, like the Sunday scaries are a little scarier now.
Dude, I think back to my 20s when I was a train wreck, and I'm like, man, if people had like cell phones back, like your life is over. It's just like you said, it's one thing you wake up and you're like, oh man, but then it's another thing when it's like, oh shit, it's on Twitter now, and I'm a somebody.
Right. Yeah, it's like, well, I just won't go back to that bar for like 2 weeks, but now it's like, but I think there's a right way to do it. And I think this is all very new. I mean, there's a lot of gossip sites out there. And this is a thing people care about clearly because of, you can see how many followers they have. So I think that if we figure out like the ethical way to do it and keep it to some sort of reporting standards, I think sometimes like I think it's new and they're trying to figure it out, but we'll see.
Bro, this was awesome. Congratulations. Winter House. I can't wait to watch, man. Like, I love this whole crossover effect and seeing this new dynamic of personalities. And you guys are like the best. I was telling Shep this. I mean, I just love Southern. I love Charleston. So getting to see the culture of Charleston is depicted through you guys and girls is freaking hilarious. But like, now I'm gonna love this dynamic in Vermont. So I'm super excited to see Winter House, man. Congrats on the new series.
Awesome. Well,
Good
thanks,
seeing
man.
you,
I'll come on
brother. Good luck with
anytime.
the show, man. Take care.
Cheers, guys.
See you, bud.